This is Ask Coach Kathy, and here is the question for this week. Kathy, my wife has just been offered a position at her company with a huge salary increase. I don't like my job that much, and I'm considering coming home to be a stay-at-home dad. I love being with my kids on the weekends, but I am not sure I'll like it 7 days a week. Any advice? Well, this is obviously a huge lifestyle change for you that you're considering. I have two people here who are going to give you some real advice because you're living proof of stay-at-home dads. We have Pete Smith and we have Kevin Kehoe. Pete, you have two 16-month-old twins and a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Kevin, your kids are now 7 and 9,
Right.
but when you stayed at home, they were younger. So
Correct.
I want to hear from both of you. What was your biggest challenge as a stay-at-home dad?
For me, initially was the communication with my wife. She just went back from maternity leave and wanted to know all about the babies.
Okay.
But at that time, I was having problems. You know, I love problem solving, so I wanted to hear about her work and what she was doing to kind of get me back to that work environment.
Okay, so you wanted a different kind of communication that she was trying
So we
to get.
had, go a little back and forth.
Interesting. So that's something that this viewer wants to think about, the kind of communication if he's going to stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Kevin? What was your biggest challenge?
I think coming from the corporate world, it was probably scheduling, because I was so used to doing my own schedule, and that doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, you know, the 1.5-year-old David and Hannah, you know, they did the scheduling because it was really what they needed to do at that time, and I had to adjust everything.
Okay.
Nothing could be scheduled anymore.
Now I have to ask, you're out there being a stay-at-home dad. Are there a lot of stay-at-home dads you can like go to coffee with and talk about things? I mean, how's that work for you? Or is it feeling isolating? I don't know.
No, there's some stay-at-home dads. There's more and more these days. However, the key thing is with your kids is, do they have kids your same age?
Oh.
And so
For play groups and
play
stuff?
groups and things.
Did you experience that?
Well, there's some groups out there too that where there's a few like stay-at-home dads, and they have these meetings like once a week. They get together and they kind of share ideas.
Cool.
Now I never participated, but I was aware of that. So they're out there.
Okay.
You just don't have time.
Right.
The time is your biggest constraint, and you can't schedule anything.
So what's your biggest joy from being a stay-at-home dad?
Well, it's just that one-on-one connection. I mean, that's the precious thing. And by being a stay-at-home dad, instead of trying to juggle 2 full-time careers between me and my wife, I'm able to do things at home. So when she comes home, she can spend that one-on-one time as well.
That's great. You want to chime in on your joy of being a stay-at-home dad?
It's the hardest job you have to do. You don't have to report to anybody. I reported to my 1.5-year-old and my 3-year-old, so I wasn't sitting in meetings and going over budgets and trying to hit goals.
Yeah.
That's who I reported to.
That's great.
And that's the good part.
Right. And the memories that you're making.
Absolutely.
Thank you both for being here and helping our viewer with that question. Thank you so much for joining us this week for Can You Relate? And remember, we're taking 2 weeks off. We're coming back January 3rd for our new time slot at 12:30 every Monday. I wish you a happy holiday and a happy new year.
Wardrobe provided by Aurora Farms Premium Outlets. Hair and makeup courtesy of John Roberts Salon and Spa. Want to learn more about today's topics, suggest segments, or add your input? You can do all this and more at CanYouRelateTV.com. Can You Relate with Kathy Dawson is presented by CK Media Productions.